What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Um, Today we're gonna look at the top 10 most dangerous cities for 2022 going into 2023. Honestly, a few of them are gonna shock me that didn't make the list. Maybe two or three. But dangerous cities is not a good thing at all. And we have a lot of that in America, so unfortunately. But we're gonna look at the national average and stuff for crime and murders. So let's get to the list. Let's see what cities are dangerous for 2021 going to 2023. Number 10, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico is our 10th most dangerous city right now. They've been really bad. Like their crime has been really bad for a long time now. And Albuquerque, it is the main reason why New Mexico's ranked the second most dangerous state in the nation because of Albuquerque. Crime there is so bad. The reason why crime is bad they have lower patrol of cops. Like the cops aren't really good. They don't have too many jobs and stuff. The economy is low. So basically, less jobs and less police, more crime. They have street gangs, like a street fights and stuff, and street gangs and street violence in Albuquerque. It's basically like a sport now. It's so bad. Albuquerque's violent crime rate is 240% higher than the national average. That's pretty bad. And they caught 16.4 murderers in 2021. So that's a lot of murders, honestly. It may not seem a lot, but it is. Number 9, Rockford, Illinois. I can't really tell you much about the city. I knew what it was, but I don't know nothing about Rockford, Illinois. But Rockford, Illinois is about an hour northwest of Chicago. So that's actually all I know about. And I also know that it's pretty dangerous too. I'm also surprised that I'm gonna tell you at the end of the video what cities that didn't make this list. But yeah, Rockford has been in bad shape for a long time and stuff. I read more about it last night. So they basically been in bad shape for a while. There's nothing to do there. Their violent crime rate for Rockford is 203% higher than the national average. Yes, that's lower than Albuquerque, New Mexico, but we're going by the murder rates and stuff. The murders, they had 17.3 murders for every resident per capita. So yeah. Number 8, Houston, Texas. This one didn't really caught me off guard because Houston is getting more and more dangerous every year, and it's starting to trying to turn into like Detroit almost, but a lot further to go before they can be Detroit. But this place is getting worse and worse, honestly. And I go visit there almost every summer, and pretty much almost every single year. So yeah. The violent crime rate of Houston is 224% higher than the national average. And they saw 20.3 murders for every 100,000 residents. That's a lot. Number 7, Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't like this city. This is probably some of my least favorite cities. Like I really don't like Arkansas. I've been there before. Actually, I drove through it, and I had stopped there we had stopped there Well, because we were driving from Louisiana to Missouri back in 2020. So I didn't like the city at all. It was dirty, run down. People wasn't really nice. But let's get back to the video. Little Rock, Arkansas has been in bad shape for decades, and it's been a really dangerous city. The violent crime rate of Little Rock, Arkansas is 377% higher than the national average. Oof. And their murder rate was 24.8. That's a lot. Arkansas has a long history of violence, so yeah, it's not a good city. Try to stay away from there. The only good thing I can say about it is that it has a cheap cost of living. Number 6, South Bend, Indiana. I'm not gonna lie with you, I never actually heard about this city either. I've never heard about this city at all. So I don't know anything about it. But the only thing I know now is dangerous. I did a little research last night. They have some poverty issues, and they have a lot of unemployment of people and a lot of rundown homes and a lot of poor people. So their violent crime rate is 346% higher than the national average, and their murder was 27.9. Jeez. Number 5, Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri hasn't been the best city to live in the United States. They do have a river flowing through town. Yes, it's not the Mississippi River, it's the Missouri River. A lot of people think it's the Mississippi River, but it's not. The violent crime rate for Kansas City, Missouri is 309% higher than the national average. It's pretty brutal. We're getting up there. This is where it starts to get rough. Listen, hear me out. Their murder is 35.2 per every 100,000 capita. That's a lot. Number 4, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm surprised they didn't there wasn't at number 2 or number 1. But Memphis is terrible. That's why Tennessee is the one of the most violent state is because of Memphis. They have a super long history of being a violent city too. It was never a good city to live in. Memphis's violent crime rate is 506% higher than the national average. My goodness. And they saw 44 murders per every 100,000 residents. That is a lot. That's brutal. Number 3, Wilmington, Delaware. I don't really ever talk about Delaware. Like, I feel like Delaware is a forgotten state. Like, I forget about Delaware sometimes. But like, the reason why, because I don't ever talk about Delaware either. So the only time I did Delaware was that top 10 reasons to move to the States from that series, but that's about it. The violent crime rate is 310% higher than the national average, and their murder rate is 44.3 per every 100 residents. Number 2, Detroit, Michigan. This doesn't really surprise me as much. It's because Detroit, number 1, Detroit is some of the most dangerous, is the second most dangerous city in the entire United States. And I've heard so much bad stuff about this city too. They have so much abandoned homes. They even have abandoned neighborhoods, like several of them too. Um, Don't now downtown isn't so bad, but try to stay in the downtown area and the tourists, and that's it. Don't go anywhere else in Detroit because hear this out. The violent crime rate in Detroit is 462% higher than the national average. And they had caught 49.7 murders per every 100,000 residents. It's a lot of murders. And number one, Baltimore, Maryland. This one didn't really surprise me either. They have turned things around. The reason is because they're bringing a lot of tech companies and tech jobs in Baltimore for like the past several years or maybe decade. But it's also super expensive to live here as well, and it's freezing cold. The violent crime rate in Baltimore is 379% higher than the national average. Now, that's lower than Memphis, but hear this out. Their murder was 58.1 for every 100,000 residents. That's a lot of people that's getting murdered in Baltimore, Maryland. So that's why it's the most dangerous city for 2022 going into 2023 because of the murder rate. Yes, then the crime rate can be lower than like a couple of the cities in this list, but we're talking about the murder. We're going by the murder rate. So yep, Baltimore's our most dangerous city right now. Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Now, I'm going to tell you some of the cities that I'm surprised that didn't get in this list and that should have been in this list. St. Louis, East St. Louis, New Orleans, Chicago. Yeah, like they should have came, but luckily they're not. And I'm surprised Alexandria, Louisiana too, actually, because Alexandria is a nightmare right now. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.